5 News at 6 starts now.
Well, new tonight, Fort Smith is moving forward with nearly $50 million in sewer upgrades to improve water quality. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach spoke with city leaders, and she'll tell us what the city can expect.
We have people that was always needing deer hamburger and or needing meat to put on the table because it's most expensive thing to put on there, especially Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we just want to help out and give back to the community.
And amid the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, groups are joining the cause to help those in need of putting food on their table. We'll show you how the hunting community is stepping up. And it's the last football Friday night of the regular season. We'll get you ready for tonight's game of the week, showdown in Bentonville, top 7A West Conference. And thank you for joining us on your 5 News at 6. I'm Jacob Luthi. No Darren or Morgan tonight. No Scott either. But hey, we're here, me and Noah Simmons, to get you ready for the weekend. And Noah, seems like a perfect forecast for that football Friday night.
You're right, Jacob. It is a very perfect forecast, especially for early November standards with those warmer temperatures. And we get another warm day to start the weekend on your Saturday. We get to talk about it here. But yes, those temperatures are going to be looking fantastic there for any Friday night football activities here. The game of the week is Bentonville versus Bentonville West, with those temperatures falling off into the 50s. So that's going to be a great game. If we kind of look at this webcam from Springdale, I mean, look at these sunset colors. What a great way to end the work week here. And again, we get another warm day on your Saturday. So we get that to look forward to. But on its heels, especially on Sunday, we get some more colder air to talk about for Sunday and even Monday morning. How cold are our temperatures going to be? Well, we're under a freeze watch actually here for the next few days. Actually, this will go into effect for Sunday night into Monday morning. But then when you factor in the wind chill, it's going to be well below 32. We're going to get to talk about all of that, plus those weekend plans coming up.
Well, thank you, Noah. Fort Smith is investing nearly $50 million in new sewer system upgrades after years of sewage runoff and federal pressure. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach spoke with city leaders today about how this will impact residents.
The city entered a consent decree with the EPA in 2015, promising to upgrade its aging sewer system. Now, city officials say the first major round of construction contracts is ready to go. The city board approved $49.2 million in contracts Tuesday to upgrade Fort Smith's sewer system. The project includes more than 75,000 feet of pipe and 7 design agreements for additional pipe and manholes. Acting City Administrator Jeff Dingman says this first round of contracts is just the beginning.
We issued up to $100 million in bonds in order to pay for consent decree wastewater projects. Tuesday night was the first set of contracts that we have lined up to get some wastewater line improvements and capacity improvements done in response to the consent decree.
He says the most direct benefit for residents will be a clean and reliable wastewater system.
The most direct impact will be the elimination of sanitary sewer overflows and, having a clean and capable, sound wastewater system. That's why the residents authorized the sales and use tax in the first place, and that's what we're going to do with it.
Dingman also reassured residents that utility bills won't go up because of these projects.
These projects are being funded by a sales and use tax and not by utility rates. The operation of the utility depends on those rates, and we're dealing with that sort of separately.
Over the past decade, city engineers have been assessing problem areas and designing improvements. Dingman says the city has made progress reducing sanitary sewer overflows, and these construction projects will help eliminate them.
We're finally getting to the phase of the work that requires actual construction. We've done a lot of assessment, we've done a lot of design work, we've identified what the problems are. Now we have projects lined up to go out and start fixing them.
City leaders say that residents will see more construction starting early next year as the city moves into this next phase of sewage improvement. In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Well, thanks, Claire. New updates tonight in the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. The Senate just wrapped up voting on whether to advance legislation to pay federal workers and furloughed workers amid the impasse. That vote failed, missing the mark by 7 tallies. Both sides of the aisle also could not reach a deal on long-term funding today, with the debate still centered around extensions on healthcare subsidies. Meanwhile, the air travel industry is feeling a lot of the impacts tonight. Airlines delayed or canceled hundreds of flights at the nation's 40 busiest airports. That's impacting how Arkansans travel in and out of the state. 5 News reporter Bo Russell is live at XNA with an update on how the shutdown is impacting Northwest Arkansas travelers. Bo.
Good evening, Jacob. Well, the FAA released an announcement today of an emergency directive that airlines need to reduce air travel by 4% at 40 major airports across the United States. Here at XNA, there's already been 3 flight cancellations over the weekend, and that could grow going into next week. Now, the FAA said that going into next week, the slowed air traffic could grow to 6%, maybe even 8% by next weekend. We're looking at a 10% increase the week after that, going into maybe even 20% heading into the holidays. So the government shutdown is really starting to be an issue for air traffic. We're just kind of seeing the beginnings of that here at XNA. So here's a little checklist of things you can do if you are traveling this holiday season. One is if you're used to checking your flight time, your gate early in the morning before you take a flight, maybe check it the night before. Another thing you can do is get here earlier. There may be unexpected disruptions as a result of the shutdown and new FAA regulations. So getting here earlier can help you deal with that. And third is just have an open mind. You know, things might happen, but let's take a look at a map here of presented by, excuse me, I'm blanking on the name, but it's the misery map presented by FlightAware. You see these circles here with red lines. Those red lines indicate what percentage of flights at that airport have been delayed or canceled. So looking at Dallas Airport, that's almost a quarter of flights. LAX, a quarter of flights. The airport in DC, we're seeing almost half of the flights coming into and out of DC being canceled or delayed. So the government shutdown really starting to be an issue.
Yeah, you know, Bo, one thing a lot of travelers worry about are those TSA lines. So far from what you've seen, any sense of increased lines there at XNA?
Jacob, it's interesting you say that. I went up and looked at the TSA lines. Not a big difference from what you would usually see. They're pretty well staffed, which is interesting, but you have to keep in mind that these TSA workers, they're working without pay. So as we move towards the holiday, that could become a bigger issue. So we're going to keep an eye on that and bring you updates as they become available. Live in XNA, covering news where you live, I'm Bo Russell, 5 News.
Thanks, Bo. Meanwhile, the biggest airport in Arkansas is supporting its workers during the shutdown. Today, the Clinton National Airport partnered with the Arkansas Food Bank to supply employers with essential needs. All they had to do was pull up to the airport's cargo area and show their valid government ID. Then volunteers loaded their trunk with food, and just down the street at a nearby gas station, employees with Central Flying Service filled up tanks for FAA, ATC, and TSA workers. Well, new at 6, this weekend marks the beginning of deer hunting season in Arkansas. But as many struggle to make ends meet with the government shutdown, you can take the fun weekend out in the woods and turn it into something even more meaningful. Carter Thweet explains.
We've been with them 26 years now, I believe.
Joey Hutchison of Cruz Meat Products in Alexander has spent quite a while working with Arkansas hunters feeding the hungry. It's a program Randy Zellers with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission is big on. When hunters bring a deer to Cruz or any other meat processor, they can make a special request.
If you shoot a deer and you want to donate that deer, whole deer or part of that deer, you can donate that venison to Arkansas Hunters Feeding the Hungry. They will take it and deliver it to food banks and places around the state where they can help feed the needy.
Game and Fish works with Arkansas Hunters Feeding the Hungry director Ronnie Ritter. He tells me he's been there for most of the organization's 25 years, and with everyone going out to hunt this weekend, it's a huge moment for them.
With some of the food crisis right now, we're just asking that hunter to take that extra deer, field dress it, drop it off at one of our participating processors. We've got them all across the state.
Like at Cruz, where Hutchison tells me this mostly empty facility will be packed in a matter of days, hopefully with some donated deer to help feed those in need.
We have people that was always needing deer hamburger and are needing meat to put on the table because it's most expensive thing to put on there, especially Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we just want to help out and give back to the community.
Especially now, with SNAP benefits threatened and government employees struggling due to the federal shutdown. All it costs is a little time, and Ritter says one deer can provide over 100 servings.
With the food banks needing more help right now, it's a great time for that hunter to go out, take an extra deer, drop it off to the processor, we'll process it into burger and give it to food pantries.
That was Carter Thweet reporting. If you're interested in helping out with the mission of Arkansas Hunters Feeding the Hungry, you can go to their website, The link is there at the bottom of your screen. You can make a donation and see which meat processors they work with, plus where you can drop off your deer. And happening this weekend in Fayetteville, the Northwest Arkansas Fiber Fest returns for a third year. The festival brings together 40 vendors from 11 states to showcase the unique arts from the fiber industry. Knitting to felting to embroidery. Organizers say there's something for everybody.
Going through here, you're going to see everything from project bags to ceramic yarn bowls. We even have one of our 4-H families here that has an Angora rabbit, so you can come see some of the fiber animals and learn about how they hand spin some of the yarn from that wool.
Parts of the funds raised from the vendors and educational classes will go towards the Washington County 4-H Youth Development Program. You can visit the festival at the county fairgrounds from 9 to 5 tomorrow.